Okay. Greetings, Peter Alexander Cherneff, aka Cactus Pete, here today on site at a hidden location in Ukiah, California, because we have information that Sister Jane Kelly, her life may be in danger based on the information she has put forward, and so we have taken precautions with our investigators to be here under these conditions, and we're grateful that Sister Jane Kelly will be speaking with us and answering our questions. So before I start with a surprise reading of something for her, I'd like to introduce Sister Jane Kelly.
Yeah, well, actually, I have to clarify, I am no longer a sister. I left the congregation a few years ago so I could stay in Ukiah and work with the poor and the homeless. So it's Jane Kelly, but everybody calls me Sister Jane Kelly.
Well, thank you very much. And let me ask, when you're speaking, to look into the camera, because there's going to be thousands and thousands of people reviewing this tape in the very near future, and we're very glad that you're here, sister. And plus you said if you're not an official sister, we're going to work it out so that you become the Pope.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I asked you earlier if you ever had anybody wrote a poem about you, and you said
no,
never.
Nobody.
And if somebody did, it better be pretty good, right?
Absolutely.
Let's find out. Okay, this is for Sister Jane Kelly, matriarch of the Catholic Church. She's passed the test. She is the best, proven by net search. With that scheming pedophile Lavada, she publicly went toe-to-toe. For the Mother Church to be run by pedophiles is not an acceptable status quo. She challenged Bishop Zeman. She slapped him in the face. For the bishop conspires with molesting liars to cover up every case. These cardinals and bishops raping children or drinking at the bar, it's time to act. It be a fact. It be a fact, an application of chicken feathers, so too some oily tar. Sister Jane Kelly, be a true heroine. She's helped the victims cope. The Catholic patriarchy, now excommunicated. Sister Kelly, be now the Pope. It's time for all Catholic women to rid the Church of this male fraud. The goddess arisen, breaking the chains of pedophile prison. True service to Almighty God.
Very good, Peter.
That's what I wrote for you.
Very good, Peter.
Did it speak the truth?
Right on target.
Are we right on target?
You're right on target.
So the other day when we were visiting, and we talked a little bit, and I asked you, I said, or someone asked you if you'd stepped away from the church, and you said that no, not at all. It says you are the church, and it's this pedophile patriarchy that needs to be just taken away. Tell us a little bit about what should we do with them? Should they be excommunicated? Should they be tarred and feathered? Tell me, what should happen to these people? Should they be in prison?
Well, obviously some of them should be in prison because they have broken the law, and seriously broken the law. And it's hard to know what you would do. I would say the first step would be that they would be defrocked, and then they would be tried. And if found guilty, they would be sentenced to prison. And I think that has to start right from the hierarchy all the way down. And so what you would do with them is you would defrock them where they wouldn't be a priest any longer, and then you take action at where you would have them tried, and if found guilty, put in prison.
I strongly agree, and what I'm really interested to get in this conversation with you today is a message to the general Catholic public, because it's always amazed me that knowing that there have been literally hundreds of thousands of children abused and thousands of these pedophile priests moved around and shuffled around and covered up, how is it even possible that people would continue sending their kids there? Tell us a little bit about what you experienced and how much effort you put forward into making this public, and what were the end results?
Well, it started with a young priest. Actually, he wasn't a priest when he was sent to Ukiah and the parish that I'm in, and I was asked to be a supervisor. And I had real misgivings about the reasons he wanted to be ordained, but they didn't listen to me, and they went ahead and ordained him. Within a year, he was ordained a priest, which is unbelievable. Usually the stages take years. And so he was ordained. And then I had people coming to me and saying that Jorge had been sexually abusing the young Hispanic men.
Could you tell us his full name and what community was this?
Jorge Hume Salas. And he came to St. Mary's Parish not even as a deacon, but as a young man that Bishop Seaman felt had a calling to priesthood. And so in a very short time, he was made a deacon, and then he was ordained a priest. And they never once listened to my suggestions as to what I think Jorge should have been told to do. But they didn't listen to me, and they went ahead and ordained him. And then word came to me that he was molesting young men. And I went to our pastor and said at that time, I felt that something should be done. Well, he was to go to the bishop. Well, I found out later that Bishop Seaman was sexually involved with Jorge Hume Salas. And he had also had sexual relationships with a number of young priests and young seminarians. And so, as a result, I went to Monsignor Keys, and he said he would take care of it. Well, he didn't take care of it. I wrote letters, so after 2 years, I realized going through church channels was not going to solve the problem. So I went to the press. And within 2 days, Jorge Hume Salas was dismissed, and Bishop Seaman was sent to Arizona, and both remained in the priesthood. And I remember talking to Bishop Leveda, Archbishop of San Francisco, and he had come for a ceremony here at St. Mary's, and I said to him, how can you let Jorge Hume Salas loose? You paid him off, and you allowed him to remain a priest.
Sister, let me ask you a question, if I may. Here, let me give you some water. So who was the initial priest that you first spoke to before you went to Bishop Seaman?
The priest I talked to was the pastor, Father Hans, and Father Hans couldn't believe it. Because Jorge was also stealing from the collection. And I said that to Father Hans, and he said, no way. And I said, well, then do this. Change the combination on the save, and only you have it, and Jorge has it. And sure enough, the next week, Jorge stole money, and Hans then threatened to call the police. But Jorge put on a big show and called the bishop, and the bishop came. And I did not go to that meeting because I knew what he was going to do. He was going to make everybody keep silent about it. And so I stayed out of the meeting. And so I went ahead then, and as I said, I went public on it. And as a result, we got action once it went into the paper.
So what you're telling us, I mean, I remember reading about you about 10 years ago, and I thought, well, there's a hero, there's a heroine, there's someone that's actually doing something. And so, but what you're telling us, and you're telling everybody that's listening, all my Catholic friends, all my Christian friends, my Jewish friends, because this isn't just going on in Catholic churches, but it's going on big time in Catholic churches. You're saying that you spent a lot of effort going through the church channels. Probably, would you say you put forth 10, 20, 50 times inputs into the channels over 2 years, and nothing happened until, say that again.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened until after 2 years, you went to the media.
Yeah, right.
And then, all of a sudden.
In 2 days.
In 2 days.
In 2 days, Jorge was removed, and Bishop Seaman ended up in Arizona.
So in other words, what Sister Jane Kelly is telling us is that for her concern for your children, she put forth 2 years worth of efforts, and nothing, no, I'm sorry, actually a lot was done. They put forth a lot of effort and energy into covering this up and ignoring the very sister, the nun, that was trying to protect your children. This nun right here should be Pope, and I'm not even kidding. Because if you don't think that this goes up from Ratzinger all the way down, I'm telling you that I'm not the only one that knows this. And she said that this Bishop Zeman had sex with a lot of men?
Yeah, he was having sex with young men.
Do you know that at one point in time that he sexually abused me?
No, I didn't know that.
We're not going to get into the details about that, but he definitely did.
Oh my God.
And so I've been working as an investigative reporter, and I've been abused by priests and others, and I'm really impressed with you, and I can't understand the apathy of the general public. So let me show you a few pictures that I have here.
Oh.
Who is this man? Do you recognize this face?
Yes, I do.
Is that Levada?
Yeah, it looks like it, but I'm not certain.
Okay.
Levada.
Because
That's Levada.
That's Levada. It's the same guy.
Yeah, that's when I went up and I didn't realize it, but it felt like I was shaking my finger at him. So when Bishop Walsh came and he was talking to me, and he said, "Don't put your finger up. It looks like you're scolding me."
Is that when you slapped Walsh? Or that was Zeman?
No, I didn't slap any of them.
They needed to be slapped though, don't they?
Yeah, or kicked.
So let's. The picture isn't the most clear, but I want to show the public that she is actually scolding this this pedophile Levada, Archbishop pedophile Levada, who is now working under another pedophile named Ratzinger. This is true?
Yes.
And these guys are hanging out and having parties in the Vatican.
Absolutely.
And they should be in jail.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So this is a good picture. Let's hold on to that. Let me see what else I've got here. I just got a few pictures. Now, are you familiar with Cardinal Mahoney?
That's Mahoney.
Now, have you ever had any personal situations with him?
No, I haven't. I've only heard talk. And that he was involved with pedophile priests and covered them up. And I think even he was accused of abusing young boys.
I have heard that, and I've heard that he is one of the main players in this country as far as controlling the media and the information that comes and deals with law enforcement, that they are able to protect all these guys.
Right.
I can tell you that this guy, Cardinal Mahoney, right here, is not only a pedophile and involved in organized pedophile control for this organization, but he was also involved in the case of the missing child, Kevin Collins.
Oh, Kevin Collins.
He was there and present when Collins was abused, and he was there when Kevin Collins' life was terminated in a ritual.
Oh my golly.
And that's back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I know this because I was there.
Oh my, Peter.
Okay?
Yes.
And so, let's see, who do we have next?
Peter, wait. Why were you there?
Oh, well, I was there. We didn't get into this part, but I have been involved with abusive situations